Hello everyone, this is Noble from UC Berkeley's IOR190G again. This is the third video in a series of videos discussing patent US 7069055, which is displaying local times on mobile devices. So last week I talked about the first claim in this patent, and this week I will continue to talk about the first claim, except that I will argue why Apple is infringing on Samsung's patent. So a quick recap on this patent. It is titled Mobile Telephone Capable of Displaying World Time and Method for Controlling the Same. It was filed in 1998, issued in 2006 to Samsung. And Samsung claims that Apple's iPhone, 3G, 3GS4, iPod Touch, iPad, the 3G, iPad 2, iPad 2G are infringing on this patent. This is the first claim of the patent in its entirety. I covered all the elements one by one in last week's video, and the link to that video can be found in the description section below. The quick recap for claim 1 is that there's Samsung patents an apparatus for calculating and displaying time in multiple cities based on a reference time received from remote system, calculating how long it has been since that reference signal, and then doing some simple math to get the local time in another location and then displaying its result. In terms of trying to see if Apple is actually infringing on this patent, I will say iPhone for the product because there are multiple products. But the iPhone seems to get a time signal from a remote system, so this is how it would sync its time. But also, I don't think the iPhone keeps syncing its time every second, so it must be calculating the time that has elapsed since it has received a reference signal to be displaying the current location's time on the phone. So I haven't seen the iPhone not display the time and current location on its screen. If the iPhone is getting a time for another location that you want to see, so let's say you want to get the time in London right now, and you know what time it is, and it's displaying what time it is in Berkeley, then if that calculation is based on difference in GMT, which is I think 8 hours right now before daylight savings kick in on Sunday, then it is using Samsung's method of calculating time through a time difference. I know that if I'm trying to get what time it is in Japan, I will not try to say, well, it was 10 o'clock in Japan 5 years ago when I synced time to the Tokyo Tower's clock or something like that. I would say, oh, it's 4 p.m. here right now. Then it must be 7 hours earlier one day later. So it would be 9 o'clock in Japan the next day. So if the phone is doing anything that the humans are doing, which most likely it is, then the Apple phone is probably infringing on this element as well. The last element of the first claim is that the apparatus is capable of displaying the result, and it's kind of a useless feature if the iPhone doesn't display the result of the time in another city when that's what you want, and it obviously does that. So for sure, if everything else, all the former elements are satisfied, then the iPhone does infringe on the entire claim. So it seems pretty likely that the iPhone is infringing on Samsung's patent. The only element that the iPhone might not be infringing on is how it's calculating the time in other cities, because that's the thing that I can't really see from looking at an iPhone. But unless the iPhone stores time for reference time for all 24, well, actually there's more than 24 time zones, but 24 of the major time zones, then it's pretty likely that it's using time difference to guess or to calculate what time it is in another city. It's very likely that many other companies' products also infringe on this patent claim, but for now, Samsung is only suing Apple. And that's it for this week. If you have any thoughts on this or about the lawsuit itself, then please comment, and I will make another video next week.